absolutely thrilled. I've come from Nottingham. I had no idea that I was in team colours, so I feel very welcome. My name's Sue Cooper. I am a nurse, and I've been a registered nurse for 45 years, no longer registered but still always a nurse. Because at the heart of nursing is care and compassion, and that never goes away. I went on to train further with somebody called Deepak Chopra, everybody's heard of Deepak, in Ayurvedic lifestyle. So I'm an Ayurvedic educator. And then I went on to train further as a meditation and mindfulness teacher. So between those three beautiful practices, I weave together something called integrative care, and I work solely in service to humanity. Or humankind is the word that I like to use. So my talk today started off by being wellbeing as a skill, but as I dive deeper into wellbeing as a skill, I realised it's so much more than a skill. So the first part, I'd like to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to talk about compassionate language as well. So there is one path to well-being, and that one path is love. It's care, it's holism, and it's unity. So that this is the path to care, compassionate care. And as I see it, there are two ways. There's a healthcare model, and there's a self-care model. And when I trained as a nurse, this was in 1973, in Sheffield. I put my nurse's uniform on, and in those days it was a very starched uniform with a starched hat and a starched apron and starched cuffs and great posture, because you could bend over. And they told us to remember this, and this is a remembering I want to share with you. Florence Nightingale said, "The goal of the nurse is to put the patient in the best possible condition so that nature can act and healing occur." There's some key words in there. Patience. We're called patient, aren't we? As soon as we enter the healthcare system. But patience, healing takes time. And healing, if we create the right conditions for healing, which is love, care, attention, compassion, then we can start to heal ourselves, which is different to the cure model that we're familiar with, which is the predominance of health now. So the two paths is healthcare and self-care. And the real term within public health for health is a science and an art. And I believe that we mustn't forget this, because the science has become very prolific, and I believe that we've actually lost the arts that go with it. But when we can integrate the two, and we can become our own, we can find our own formula for healing, then I think things start to change. So when I started to look at this deeper, well-being is a skill. So what's a skill? A skill is something that is learned, and then it's applied. So it's often head and hand, and you become very proficient in those skills. But if we move into self-responsibility, that is the skill that I'm going to talk a little bit more about. Well-being is wisdom, and wisdom is when we learn the skills, then if we can apply insights into that and actually experience this skill and feel the feeling of what it feels like, you become wise and you know whether that works for you or it doesn't work for you. And well-being is kind, and at the heart, as I said earlier on, at the heart of this is care, compassion. And for this talk, it's about self-care. It's about how we care for ourselves first, so that we have enough energy so that we can start to care for others. And then when we care for others, we can care for our place. And when we care for our place, we can start to care for our planet. So this is the holistic approach. Going back to Florence Nightingale, I don't know if this is a new theory that's come out, but it's being called the environmental theory of Florence Nightingale, away from the nursing process, which is more systems-based. So within this, let me share with you, the 4 pillars. So we've got the path, 1 path, 2 ways, healthcare, self-care, 3 powers, skill, wisdom, kindness. And the 4th way is based on a quote by Joseph Campbell. I'm going to read this so I get it right. The goal of life is to make your heartbeat match the beat of the universe, to match your nature with nature. I'm just going to read that one more time. It's deeply profound and it's the wisdom of the heart. The goal of life is to make your heartbeat match the beat of the universe, to match your nature with nature. The earth's alive, and the slide that you're trying desperately to put on that doesn't want to play. Yeah. It doesn't want to play, so that's on the slide. But I'd like you, if you would though, because if it was on the slide, that would be easier, is to look at, in your mind's eye, the word earth. E-A-R-T-H. Can you see the word earth in your mind's eye? If you take the H from the end of earth and put it to the beginning, what word do you get? Heart. So the earth and the heart are truly linked. And at this time with what's happening in Glasgow, with the Earth Summit, it's really important to remember that we are totally linked, the earth and the heart. And the earth is alive, it's a living organism. So the 4 skills, which I call TLC, so when you give it to somebody else, it's tender loving care. When you bring it to yourself, it's therapeutic lifestyle choices. So think of the word mindfulness and kindness and consciousness. The last 4 letters, N-E-S-S, are the remembering letters. So for health and well-being, the first skill is nutrition, N for nutrition. Eating good, local, source food that is alive. The body doesn't recognise food that is processed, it will store it. So if you've got good, healthy, plant-based food, yeah!
Got it!
Actually. I gave it a big build up. Colourful food. And then notice how that food makes you feel. If the food makes you feel alive and well and energised, that food is nourishing to you. Food should never make you go to sleep when you have it. So that's M, so that's the first skill. E is exercise. Exercise for energy. We need to really start looking at our own energy levels, and this is the self-care model, and noticing when our energy levels dip and what do we need to do. So it may be food, it may be exercise, it may be vigorous exercise, or it could be something like laughing, or singing loudly in the car, something that you're giving voice again to your own mind-body system, and it really loves it, it's energised. So that's the E. The next skill for well-being, S, in this, is stress relief and stress release. we do know through the lens of mindfulness, through science, that a simple meditation practice or a simple breath and a conscious breath is enough to change from fight-flight to what we call the relaxation response, which is actually the healing response. It's what we call placebo. Placebo is real and it's the healing response. So stress relief is something that is huge at the moment, and if you want to join my workshop, I'm doing a little practice shortly, we'll do a few breathing exercises where we move from fight-flight stress into feeling very centred and feeling coherent. And then the final S is sleep. Moving back into nature, moving back into the circadian rhythms of going to bed when it's ideally before 10:30, sleeping during the hours of darkness, uninterrupted, waking up in the morning. And when you wake up in the morning, you feel very alive. And I love that picture. Yeah, can you see it? We wake up with an alarm often, and what does the alarm do to your nervous system? It alarms you, and it starts your day in an alarm state. It starts in fight-flight, and then we fly out of bed. So with gratitude and appreciation, a suggestion, and I do it myself every morning, is that when I wake up, I give gratitude for actually waking up. Because one day, it will be different, but every day is another day of being alive, another day of being able to share care and compassion for myself, to others and into the world, and to really feel alive. So if you look at heart, you look at earth, treat her well. Mother Earth, treat yourselves well. You are really worth it. And keep humankind alive with great kindness, great love. Thank you.